Have you ever wondered what would happen to a tick if, for example, it accidentally fell or you dropped it into beer? These are incredibly resilient creatures, and I was really curious. Would they stay alive, or would this saturated environment finally defeat them? I bought 2 samples, a lighter one with 5% alcohol by volume, and the strongest I could find at 8.1%, and submerged the ticks in them. The experiment turned out to be incredibly fascinating, and you will see it all with your own eyes. Let's start with a fact I've mentioned more than once. Ticks can live in a laboratory for weeks. So I collected over 10 ticks, and after just 4 days, they showed no signs of life, even though they were kept in good, cool conditions. It might sound crazy right now, but I tried to resurrect them using an energy drink. Unfortunately, after 2 hours, nothing had changed. Plus, collecting them has become quite difficult. It's really hot in my area right now, which is probably why they're harder to find. Last time, my friend and I searched for 4 hours and only found one, but there were an incredible number of mosquitoes. By the way, would you be interested in seeing which folk remedies actually work against swarms of them? I'm ready to test it on myself in the forest with the most aggressive ones. Let's not waste any time and start with the intolerance test. In addition to our beers, I bought an energy drink and cola to test, just like in my last video, whether the smell of these liquids repels the tick. I drew squares and applied all these liquids to the borders. Cola. There's nothing even to talk about here. The tick just didn't notice the barrier. Energy drink. Practically nothing changed. The tick didn't even feel the border. Pay attention. The tick that quickly crosses the border is the freshest one, straight from the forest. But the one that reaches the border and hesitates was collected 4 days ago. This will matter when we introduce them to our beers. 5% beer. Again, nothing significant for the ticks. One quickly ran across, and the second one hesitated again. 8% beer. And here is where the fun begins. For 5 minutes, neither of them could cross the border. See for yourself. I came to the conclusion that the beer releases sharp ether fumes. For the tick's highly sensitive receptors, this acts as an invisible chemical wall that burns their sensory organs. The smell and evaporation are so intense that the receptors get overloaded, and the tick instinctively retreats, perceiving this border as a toxic and dangerous environment. Alright, now let's move on to the main experiment. If you've watched my previous videos, you'll remember that ticks couldn't last more than an hour in household chemicals, cold, or garlic. So this time, I set up a test with gradually increasing time intervals, literally from a few minutes up to an hour, if they make it, of course. Stage 1. In 5% beer, as soon as I submerge the tick, I don't observe any hyperactivity. It's as if it's just swimming. When I take it out, it seems exhausted, but once I clean it, after a few moments, it calmly starts crawling again. In 8.1% beer, here you can already see how hard it is for it. The tick starts moving very actively. Most likely the higher alcohol concentration immediately exerts a powerful effect on it. After rinsing, it seems absolutely immobilized. I was even a little upset at first, but after putting it on a napkin and letting it dry, I saw that after a few moments, it ran off as if nothing happened. Stage 2. 5 minutes. Here we start seeing violent reactions with both liquids. I noticed that after a few minutes, the ticks simply enter an energy-saving mode. They completely stop moving. 5 minutes pass. I wash each tick and leave it on a paper towel. It took them about 3 minutes to recover. Test passed. Stage 3. 10 minutes. This is a serious milestone. I bet that the ticks wouldn't survive this test. Okay, I pour the liquid over each one and leave them. Again, after a few minutes, no movement. 10 minutes pass, I repeat the cleaning. The ticks look completely lifeless, no signs of life at all. I left them and expecting nothing, went about my business, and a miracle happened. The ticks came back to life. And first the one that was in the strong beer, and 10 minutes later, the one in the light beer. And look what I noticed. You might know that instead of eyes, ticks have a Haller's organ. Haller's organ is a unique sensory apparatus located on their front legs. It replaces vision for ticks, working as both a thermal imager and a radar. This is how the tick detects our body heat, carbon dioxide from our breath, sweat odors, and even the slightest changes in humidity, finding its prey from a distance. So, right now you have the opportunity to see for yourself how the ticks carefully clean their radars. I was so fascinated that I froze for a couple of minutes. I got a really strong tick. No wonder I spent so long looking for it. Stage 4, 30 minutes. We are approaching a very serious mark. I decided to go straight for it to finally understand whether this environment affects ticks or not. By this point, the tick from the weak line had completely stopped moving. Well, let's submerge our powerful tick in the 8% sample and leave it. Of course, I had hope. I just imagined the faces of my viewers if the tick passed this test too. So, I wash it and again leave it in a petri dish on a damp napkin. I came up to it after 30 minutes. No result. After an hour, still nothing. But suddenly my daughter said that it moved. I felt a kind of relief. I opened the lid, blew on the tick so it would completely dry out, and it ran. It's some kind of miracle. I'm sure this result alone deserves your like and subscription. Just an absolute beast, not a tick. Stage 5. 1 hour. But the experiment wouldn't be complete if I didn't set the bar at 1 hour. Here my hopes were minimal. An hour in such a concentrated solution is practically a 100% dead end. But let's do it. I submerge the tick, mentally saying goodbye to it. After an hour, I repeat the cleaning procedure and leave it. An hour passes, no results. After 2, still empty. In the morning, the picture hasn't changed. In the end, the alcohol did its job. The tick never woke up again. Here they are, these 2 ticks. The first one, by the way, never recovered. I don't know about you, but I really liked the experiment. This time, these arthropods truly surprised me, and I will definitely continue running tests on them. And if you like what I do, subscribe to the channel and suggest in the comments what experiments you would like to see next time. See you.